So today I'm going to talk about a question that comes up about the true front split. And the question, there's actually a number of questions that kind of roll in together. What is more important, the front leg or the rear leg, the hip flexors or the hamstring? If someone has very flexible hamstrings, do they still need to work on the hip flexors to do that, or can they rely on the hamstrings? Or if somebody has, which is very rare, flexible hip flexors and tight hamstring, but if that happens, do they still need to work on the hamstring? Well, ideally, of course, you will have flexibility in both legs, and that will allow you to do more with your split. If your goal is to just drop into the split, you can have one side more flexible than the other and then compensate. So let's take a look at what that means. So now we're going to take a look at this. Now, she's not in an actual split because we want to exaggerate the movement so that you could see it. So here, if she goes into lordosis or anterior tilt, and it's tilted this way, we have a lot of stretch in that front hamstring, and now we have a lot of bend here. If that bend wasn't there, she actually would have been forward, but she's vertical because of this bend, and nothing is happening really in the hip flexors. They're tightened up. Doesn't mean in this case that they're tight, but they have tightened up, and this is the way she's positioned. And for some people, this is actually how the split is positioned, relying on the hamstring. Looks like this. On the other hand, if she does the posterior tilt, and now this is straight, we've got a lot of flexibility in the hip flexors, which is a lot more rare. So if you see somebody doing a split with almost straight back, you know that they have it from the hip flexors. So as you saw, there's going to be compensation if one side is more flexible than the other. On the other hand, if you're actually in a split or very close to a split and you're able to move your hips forward and back, articulate your pelvic tilt, even a little bit, you know that you have the room to go. If you articulate into anterior tilt, you know you have a little bit of a room in the hamstring. Posterior tilt, you have room in the hip flexors, which will help you a lot when you actually begin to use the split. So I recommend to develop both. Even if you can do a split with a very flexible hamstring, an exaggerated curve in your low back, it's still a great idea to start working on your hip flexors. You're still doing a split. It looks like you're still doing a split no matter what, but if your back is a little bit straighter, your hip flexors is a little bit more flexible, a lot less chance of injury, a lot more room to move. Don't want to have the rear leg directly in front of that hip. You want to have that rear hip slightly inside of that. Coming back to the vertical.